to be doing, except not quite what you want to be doing. And so teaching can be wonderful. It can be enriching. You can learn a lot from it. You can, get a lot out of it, but it also can feel like a trap. It can feel like, how do I ever make time for, because it's so time consuming, how do I ever make time for the work that I really want to be doing, that I want my sort of eventual self to be known for when I'm stuck doing this? This can happen with design careers. It can happen, if you're an architect or if you're a graphic designer or you do, web design or you do coding or something. These can be very, very absorbing, difficult jobs to do and rewarding in their own ways, but they take up all your time, right? Same thing if you have a job doing like production on a podcast or film. Other people look at these kinds of jobs and they think, oh my God, you are so lucky you get to do that. That is so cool. That's so awesome. And you feel like a jerk saying anything negative about it, or even anything like skeptical, like, yeah, it's cool, but, and from inside that situation, you can be sitting there thinking like, oh my God, I don't want to have to put on a show of being thrilled about this when I don't feel thrilled about this, because I know there's something else I want to be doing. I know there's something else that I've been working on as much as I can, but I don't have enough time for it. I don't know how to make the space for it. I don't know how to become known for that thing when I'm spending all my time on this thing. You feel like a whiner, feel like you're being disloyal. I totally get that. I go through the exact same thing. It's really, really difficult. So the test for this to me is if you've ever gotten this kind of like sinking feeling, like an oh no feeling, when something that is objectively really cool lands in your inbox, some opportunity that's like, some other people would be like, oh my God, I can't believe this amazing opportunity. And you're like, oh, now I have to figure out what to do. I have to say no to other things, or I have to figure out how to fit this in, and I have to take it because it's money and I have no choice. It's really, really stressful. So if you've ever had that feeling, I would encourage you to post about that in the comments, because I know that other people are going to empathize with that. I definitely have had that feeling. You can have that feeling even if the thing itself is something you totally want to do, because there's all this other stuff you're already doing. You try to like kind of slap yourself into feeling thrilled about this thing. That feeling of resentment, like this job is stealing your life, is a totally normal way to feel if you've got this other work that that's where you want your future to be. It's not so much that there's any problem with now, but how do you get to that future if you aren't making sure that you're doing the thing and gaining attention for the thing that you actually want to be doing? And I see Anitra saying her day job is writing, copywriting, editing, and teaching writers, and the real work is writing her own stuff. So everything is just about the shadow jobs is so true. I call this passion adjacent work. Like you got into doing copywriting and editing and teaching because you're good at it, because you're a good writer, because people value what you do and what you know. But when you're always putting all of your superpowers of writing or whatever it is that you do into like supporting other people's dreams and other people's mission, you can end up feeling erased, and just feel like I didn't get into this. I mean, it's like too hard to make a living in these creative fields to feel like awesome about this, It's like I didn't get into doing copywriting or whatever so that I could be a copywriter forever. I got into copywriting because I wanted to support my writing career, but then it's taking away from my writing career. So then what am I doing? Why am I not getting paid better? That's kind of where you end up here. Suzanne is saying, I hope this is recorded because I have to go to that job in 10 minutes. I hear ya. It's being recorded. It's all here for you later, Susanna, and I hope you'll come back to it. This is, it's just so common. And really, like the vast majority of people I work with in the Creative Focus Workshop, and especially in Authentic Visibility, are at a point where they're like, okay, it's not that I want to quit my job. I don't hate my job. I don't hate my colleagues. I don't hate what I do. I appreciate it. I see the value of it. But I want to start taking steps into my own authentic visibility. So don't forget, on Friday, I have a training coming up for free called How to Get People Wildly Obsessed with Your Work, which you can see how that might be applicable here. And it's in the description for the live, and I will paste it in again here. Let's see if I do it properly this time. It's very easy to get to. It's if you're on Crowdcast, it's in Crowdcast. And I will paste it into the comments of both Crowdcast and in Facebook here. And encourage you to go to authenticvisibility.co, not .com, that's not me, but .co, and check out the landing page for that and sign up for that training, where we're going to talk about a very specific way of flipping your perception of your audience so that you're able to really talk to them about what's valuable about what you do, not what you do for other people, but what you do to express your own thoughts and ideas. So please go sign up for that. I would love to see you there. We already have close to 800 people signed up for this thing, so it's going to be a party for sure. All right, so the thing about this great creative job, academic job, whatever it is that you when you're in that situation, you fall into a scarcity trap, a time scarcity trap, sometimes a financial one as well. And the way that works is basically every time somebody offers you something, I mean, we all need to pay our bills, and we want stability, and we want, of course we want those things. So when somebody offers this kind of thing to you, you feel like you have to say yes, like you have no choice but to say yes. And when you say yes, then you cram up your schedule even more, feel even more oppressed by the whole thing. And that gives you an even like greater desire to do something else, but you're doing more things. And when you achieve those things and you do well with them, then more opportunities come your way because you're good at what you do and people want what you do. And why shouldn't they? Because you're good at what you do. So it's a positive feedback loop in terms of getting work, but it's a negative feedback loop in terms of creating space to think the thoughts and make the work that is really going to be the game changer for you. And what I want to say is it's your job to claim space in the world for the work that best expresses you. No one else is going to do this because you are too valuable doing what you do for your day work, your day job work. Like people want that work from you. They're not going to quit asking for it. You have to make the space yourself. It's your job to make that space. And the way you make that space, and it's in your head as much as anything else, is by seeing people respond to it. Understanding you put it out there and you're going to get responses that you can trust, that you're going to be able to move into at least a shared career, if not moving completely pivoting into this other work. And the only way you do that is by becoming visible. You have to make it visible. You have to start making it visible. It doesn't happen on its own. It will not ever happen on its own. Nobody's asking for it. They want you to do their jobs, whatever it is they need. They don't need you to do what you want to do. They don't need you to do what you need to do. So this is the crucial flip you've got to understand, is like, it doesn't happen until you take the steps to make it happen. Jim says, a day job is comic strip syndication and real work is graphic novelist. Perfect example of this, Jim. Your day job is so desirable. People are like, oh my God, you draw comics for the paper? That's amazing. And it is amazing. You are amazing. There's nothing wrong with saying that and like feeling that and feeling like this and feeling lucky, but also you can feel trapped, right? At the same time, you can feel trapped. It's the only logical, rational way to feel, and sometimes, and when you're in this kind of situation. It's funny because I had this conversation one time with this friend of mine, acquaintance of mine, not somebody I know super well, who she's trying to write a book, and she was expressing sort of like wonder at me writing books, saying like, she is a designer, somebody to design and like, business strategy and marketing stuff basically. And she's like, it's so easy to, making money is just so easy and creativity is so hard. I was like, what planet do you live on? Like, I have never met anybody who would say that in my life. And this is where all the scarcity thinking comes from, is this idea that like money is hard and money is impossible, that money won't come unless, I take whatever's in front of me right now. And the fact is that the only way you get to grow out of that kind of scarcity mentality is by putting the work in and trusting the system that if you are going to become more visible, if you're going to make the work and build the audience for it, that it is going to turn into, um, financial support for this work in the future. But that's the only way that it can happen, is if you're actually in there doing it. So again, I think that this is this dilemma highlights this core problem, which is, and I talk about this when I teach the creative focus workshop. We talk about making space, mental space, calendar space for the work. But more than that, in order to keep doing the work, and in order to feel like the work can be something bigger and that you can go out to the world with it, it's really necessary to start building visibility for it, because the work that we're doing is about the inner work that we're doing, the private work, the personal work, the more important work is communication. It's meant to be received by people out in the world. And so receiving that, communicating that work to other people is completing that creative act. So creating visibility for it is reinforcing for you that it's worth doing, whether or not you're being paid for it yet. That even if you're sort of in early stages and you're not able to make much money at it, getting people to see it and react to it, seeing that it's catching fire, people are really appreciating it. That is how you come to peace with whatever your day job is for as long as you need to. That is also how you grow to a point where you can pivot away from whatever work it is you're doing that you don't want to be doing anymore, and do something else that's even more awesome, and people will be even more bowled over they get to do that thing. It's a delicate dance, but like that's where it happens, is gaining that visibility, committing to building an audience for something, even if you're not quite sure. And you look at what you're doing in your day job and you're like, this is solid, people like it, they hire me for this, I should keep doing this because they keep wanting it. You want to be over here doing this other thing. The only way to sort of justify it to yourself is like, oh, but they like this even more, and it's more me, and I feel more at home, and I feel more like myself. That is the key right there. Carlene says, my day job is freelance graphic designer and real work, helping people get clear on who they are and what they want to be doing for a living. That seems like a very it's a big difference between those two things, those two audiences. But building an audience for the thing you want to be doing will let you pivot away from doing freelance graphic design. Like, that is clear. Like, you can do that. You can go from one to the other. It's totally possible. But the only way that happens is by starting to step out, doing some promotion, marketing, visibility work around the work you want to be doing. And that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday. So I really hope everybody will show up at that. I see there's a bunch of people here on Crowdcast with me and a few here on Facebook. The link is in the chat here. If you're on Crowdcast already, you can also just click my name at the top there and you'll get to the main Crowdcast page, and it's right there at the top. It's called How to Get People Wildly Obsessed with Your Work, which is obviously what we need to do. It's obviously what we need to do in order to get you out of this time and money crunch with your day job. And I see Anitra saying, I am narrating your life. I'm really, really sorry that you have to feel that way. But like resenting people who contact you through your website for gigs. I have heard that story. I have felt that myself. I mean, I got an email today, which was like, do you want to do this visiting talk gig? And I'm like, oh, do I? Oh, I like doing those, but oh my God, if I do that, what am I giving up? And feeling that push-pull all the time, and like, will this work that will this talk that they're asking me to do actually be something that supports the direction I want to go? And that's what I have to figure out before I say yes to it. So that's what I have for you today. Tomorrow I'm going to be back again at 2:00. And I will be talking about the 5 things I will never ask you to do to promote yourself. And there's some things that you get asked to do all the time to promote your work and gain visibility. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to do them, and show you how you don't have to do them. So you can sign up for that on Crowdcast, again, by going to the main Crowdcast page, and it's tomorrow's event. You can see that. I'm here all week. I'm here all week, 2:00. 2:00 I'll be doing lives, and then on Friday, 2:00, that is when I'm going to be doing the How to Get People Wildly Obsessed with Your Work training, which is going to be a 90-minute training, going deep. It's really great stuff. So I hope you'll join us then, and I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.